Do you find you have sagging skin and everything seems to be dragging down? Well, in today's video, we're going to be doing an amazing fascia reset, working on 3 parts of the facial and neck area to really help release tight fascia, which can be compressed and stuck to the bone, by releasing it and lifting everything up, allowing for more space for nutrients, oxygen, blood flow and detoxification. So first off with clean skin and obviously clean fingers. Now I'm using my Fascia lift oil here. So this is really 11 organic botanical ingredients, but it's really great for a grip and glide. So you're not compromising the skin by dragging or pulling at it, but also it's allowing for more nutrients to penetrate into the surface of the area of the skin. So just gently applying all along the forehead area and the face and also the neck. We're also going to be finishing off with the all-important lymphatic drainage at the end as well, so we can also release toxins and waste. So the first part of the 3 is we're going to be working on the collarbone. If the collarbone on the bone of the fascia is tight and stuck, this can draw and drag everything down from the neck and also the jawline. So you want to release this. So after applying just a little bit of oil just to the collarbone area, we're going to place with one hand, take the other hand and place it as a hook shape, and where the collarbone is, you want to very gently and very slowly work along the collarbone with the hook of the finger. Now again, we're releasing and we're decompressing any tight fascia stuck to the bone. Again, allowing for space. And you want to work really slowly all the way up to almost the shoulder area here. And when you get to the shoulder, you can just give it a nice little wiggle, and then working on the other side, finger as a hook, placing it onto where the collarbone is here, and very slowly and lightly, well, light to medium touch, you don't want to go too heavy-handed, working all the way along. If you find the pressure's too much, you can always lift off with the anchor point, if you like, of the finger. And just working slowly all the way along. Now I like to sit down with my feet firmly on the ground, nice and straight, with also a straight back. And you want to make sure that your face is nice and relaxed and your body's nice and relaxed too. So we're not holding on to any tension, so we're nice and soft within the body. And then we're going to take the fingers here and we're just going to very just gently rub along, first of all, along that collarbone, and then from the collarbone and the armpit. And you can also work in an up and down motion and across lots of different directions. The fascia is a structural sort of connective tissue throughout the whole of the body, and it's in like a sort of webbing, so it's in lots of different directions, so you don't want to be just going in one way. So if you can work in lots of different directions, and this is fairly light, and then working on the other side, just first of all starting a round circular motion along the collarbone, and then when we get to that part of the armpits there, again just working lots of different directions. And then with the fingers, where the collarbone is just above, we have some indentations, and if you just give these a few gentle presses, this will just really open up the gates for detoxification for the lymph. So we're really opening up, ready for lymphatic drainage. So that's our first point, the collarbone. The second point is the jawline. So on the mandible here, again, if we have any fascia stuck almost glued to the bone, we want to unstick this to allow for more space. So taking our hand onto our chin area here, placing our our finger again as a hook, and now we're very gently breathing in and then just gliding out very slowly and mindfully, making sure the jaw is nice and relaxed. And when I'm doing these fascia exercises and work, I like to really breathe in for 4 and out for 6. Again, really helping with blood flow and oxygen to the fascia. Again, just gliding all the way along towards the ear. And again, if you have a tender point, you can always ease off with the hook of the finger. When we get to the ear, just give it a little wiggle for the fascia and the lymphatics. And then again, finger onto the chin, other finger as a hook, placing, holding, just melting into the skin. And then just slowly work along for great fascia decompression on the mandible. Again, this will really help for a more sharper, smoother jawline, but also again on the top of the neck. And just again, you don't want to be dragging at the skin. This is why it's really important to go really slowly all the way along the jawline towards the ears. And then just give us a nice little wiggle there. And then the third point we're going to be working on is the scalp area. We always tend to forget about the top of the head and the scalp. If the scalp is quite restricted, it pulls everything down, eyebrows, those hooded eyes, creases and wrinkles on the forehead. If it's nice and relaxed and released, this will really help without drawing everything down and really improve those fine lines and wrinkles on the forehead area. So taking our fingers, we want to use almost like the pads of the fingers, placing it into our hairline. I like to use my small fingers on the hairline and the rest within on the scalp, and you want to just very gently plant onto the head and then just literally melt it onto the scalp with your fingertips. Do a nice belly breath in through the nose for 4 and out for 6. And then just very gently work in a round circular motion one way. And you may find it easier, as well I do, if you can look in a mirror while you're doing this. Well, it does always look a little bit funny. Nice and slow. Now, if your scalp isn't moving very much, you've probably got quite tight fascia, so you may need a little bit more work. But you really want to keep going at this and then work in a round circular motion the other way. Again, just releasing any tightness. This will also help with any sort of tension within the head area as well, and also calming down the nervous system. Now, if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing also, and also comment down below. Tell me where you're from, and if there's any other fascia techniques you'd love me to share with you. I also have a blog on Substack now, so I'll leave that in the description box down below if you're interested as well. And then just work backwards and forwards. Again, releasing any tight tension, nice relaxed face. And then just work side to side. And then again, just a nice massage. And then you can work along the rest of the head, planting in with the fingertips and just really working that scalp nice and slow and mindful. And working along down by the side of the ears as well. Again, we hold a lot of tension in this area, also by the side of the temple area. Nice round circular motion one way, really relaxing, and then the other way. You can do these 3 or 4 times a week, which is I quite like to do. And I might just do a scalp massage almost every night, particularly in the evening. It really does calm everything down. With this, again, we are releasing any tightness of fascia on the bone here. Again, allowing for nutrients, oxygen, blood flow, and also for detoxification. And then just gently release. And then we're taking our fingers and we're just coming to the jawline area, coming up and across. Fair the light touch. And what we're doing here is we're moving toxins and waste within the lymph, which is also very close to the surface of the skin. Using the ring finger just under the eyes, where we have lighter touch here. And then just onto the forehead, outwards motion towards the temples. And coming down towards the front of the ears where we have plenty of lymph nodes. And then taking the fingers here, if you can come from the collarbone, just lift in an upwards motion along the neck towards the jawline. Nice and light. And then thumb placed under the chin area, fingers above, just gently gliding along. Again, we have plenty of lymph nodes under the jawline, so moving everything towards the ears. And then fingers in front of the ears and just glide down the front of the ear, either side and behind the ears. And then just work again. I like to work in a circular motion on the occipital bone here. So bottom of the head, top of the neck, nice and light. Again, releasing any tension within the neck, and we hold a lot of tension here. And then when the fingers are touching, one hand at a time, just gliding down the big SCM muscle down to the collarbone, either side of the neck. Always want to swallow at this point. And then from the chin all the way down, where our collarbone is, almost our starting position, if you like. We've got those indentations just above. And if you can just give these a few gentle presses, this will release all the toxins and waste we've moved throughout the facial area and the scalp into the body, ready for elimination. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, please check out my description box down below full of lots of amazing links for things and products I love and use, and also my Substack and also my Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing and comment down below. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye.